Now there was some stuff that I forgot at the beginning of this video. I don't know, I accidentally deleted the footage that I had. But in order to get the pan out, this is a 4-wheel drive unit. I had to take both CV axles loose from the front differential. I had to take the front drive shaft loose. I used a transmission jack and I lowered the front end down completely out of the vehicle. And then also took the vent line, the vent tube off of it. And the cross member that goes under the oil pan right there, I had to pull the 4 bolts out of that and take the cross member out. And then at that point I was able to get to all the bolts around the oil pan, unclip the electrical harness in the front, lay it off to the side. There's a 10mm bolt in one side, you take that out and then you slide the harness over and then the little plastic tab drops off. And then you got access to all the bolts. Then at that point I pulled all the bolts off all the way around, and then that's where this part of the video picks up. Well, got the oil pan off and it's worse than I thought it was. It is really carboned up inside this. Up top is not bad. I can see the camshaft. The camshaft lobe looks really good. No scoring or anything on them. I can see in between like the journals and stuff here. They look great. Nothing, no issue there at all. But there's definitely carbon buildup in this engine. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. So we're gonna see what the Valvoline Restore and Protect can do. And then after a little bit, we'll take a bore scope and stick it up the oil pan and look at all this down here and see if it's cleaning anything here as well. But how I had to do it is I had to take this bolt out, this bolt out, this bolt out, that bolt out, let this sag down, take obviously the front differential out, which is 4 bolts that hold it in, and then you got your axle bolts all the way around each side here that hold it in. It just drops straight out after you unplug the connectors and the vent tube. And then yeah, just take your bolts all the way around out, take your 2 bottom trans bolts out, oil pan drops right out. Probably took me 45 minutes to get to that point, to an hour maybe. Then I pulled the tube out of here, cleaned up the tube as much as I could by hand, put a new O-ring on it, put it back in there. The tube, yeah, I've got a mess right now. This was the old one. Very flat, broke easy as soon as I touched it. Part number I used was this Male if you're German, B32790. Is there another part number behind it? No. B32790. So that's the pickup tube O-ring that I used. I'm going to use this gasket for would be the cooler lines, but this doesn't have it, so it's just a block off plate. So I'm going to use this there, which is GM part number is, I might have to reuse the old gasket. I'm not sure. Some of them have a flat gasket and some of them have a rubberized gasket like this. We'll see. I'll get it off of there. But the one I'm tentatively using is 152-03-889. Look inside this pan. Holy carbon. Yeah. So let me continue getting this all cleaned up and as far as I can now. I don't know if I'm going to use the GM gasket or if I'm going to use the Felpro gasket. Honestly, if you look at it, just look at the difference between the two. Here's the GM gasket on the left from the dealer. It's got the little splits right here, splits there, there. And this is the Felpro gasket. It's one solid piece all the way around. I like that. I like the fact that there's no splits in the corners and stuff like that. It's one solid piece. I don't know how I feel yet. We'll see. I'll let you guys know which one I use. But if you're after the Felpro, there's the part number for the Felpro. And if you're after the GM part number, there's the GM part number. There'll be somebody in the comment section saying, "Hey man, can you give me that part number for those gaskets you used?" Because they don't want to watch the video. But anyway, that's here nor there. I'll see you in a little bit once everything's installed. We're going to run that Valvoline Restore and Protect. That's what we're going to run in it now that we got the oil pan and everything all buttoned up and the frame fluid filmed. well, somewhat fluid filmed. I got to do the back by the spare tire, but I'm going to do that at home because it's going to take a little while. But I got everything from behind the fuel tank forward fluid filmed. So that'll be good. Takes 6 quarts. So 1 small one and then 1 big jug. Well, it's running right now. You guys can see I fluid filmed the frame all the way down to about right here, and I'm going to do the rest of this when I'm at home. Cross members and stuff, I kind of got them. I went down this and hit this as much as I could. I'm getting no oil out of anything up there. It's looking real good. So fingers crossed, all the bolts are dry. And yeah, hopefully that was it. Hopefully we don't have to worry about this. Normally you could see it running right down there, right off the oil pan, because it was leaking off the back side. And now it seems to be perfectly fine. So we'll let it ride. That gasket that I had on the side of the pan earlier in this video, where it had the 2 little holes, the little small oval gasket, that's for a system that has an oil cooler set up, like on a 2500 or something like that. Mine didn't have an oil cooler set up, so it's just a little block off plate with an oval opening. So what I did was I took some aluminum RTV, reused the old gasket, cleaned up the surface real good, and didn't use that gasket because I didn't feel like going back out to the parts store again, and it sealed up very, very nice. And that's it. That's the gist of it. Now I'm struggling because I want to get in there and do the rear main seal as well, and I don't know what I want to do yet. I don't know if I want to pull the engine to do the rear main seal, pull the transmission to do the rear main seal, pull the engine and go ahead and do like the AFM delete with a new camshaft and lifters and all that, and 2 of the exhaust manifold bolts are broken. Just do all that all at one time? Or do I find a low mileage one and replace it that way? I'm just not sure which. Maybe you guys can help me figure this, brainstorm with me and figure out what process I'm gonna go. So if I buy another engine, I'm out, you know, $600-700 for a used engine anyway. You can find them on Marketplace all over the place. Do I want to be out money doing that, or do I pull the engine that's in it out and order like a $700-800 basic rebuild kit for it and just go through it and rebuild the whole thing, and then order like a $1,000 setup or $800 setup through Texas Speed with the camshaft and lifters and all that? I don't know what to do yet. Anyhow, be blessed. Let me know what you think.